So the international partnerships will benefit in the sense that you will get a particular technology or capability which is not existing with you. We marry it with the capability and technology which we have here, and the end result, it's not 2 plus 2 will become 4. 2 plus 2 may become 8. So this is where these partnerships they help, because we understand that we don't have all the capability. There is technology. Even just yesterday, I was with the US India Business Forum, and I realized that while talking to people that there are some technologies which they have and they're willing. So this international partnership is so important, especially for the aerospace and defense sector.
Hello everyone, I'm Jitendra Singh, banker turned entrepreneur and author of the book Pep Tech Mastering the Art of Selling. I welcome you to read my story where I interview authors, speakers, coaches, celebrities, entrepreneurs and more. Today I have with me Group Captain Sanjeev Bedi. His career is a unique blend of military excellence and corporate achievements. He dedicated 28 years of his career in Indian Air Forces, where he served as a fighter pilot, accumulating over 4,500 accident-free flying hours. His remarkable journey includes leadership role in flight safety, command of MiG-27 Squadron, and membership in the prestigious Surya Kiran Aerobatic Team, transforming to the corporate world in 2009. He made significant contributions from establishing aerospace defense operations to overseeing aviation businesses with helicopters and business jets. Notably, he played a pivotal role in setting up the Journal Aviation MRO at IGI Airport, while also forging international relationship with prominent companies. Currently, Mr. Bedi leads SPHEREA India subsidiary, managing diverse projects across aerospace, defense, and civil aviation projects. His journey is a unique fusion of military services and corporate success. Today, he will be discussing with us about his life journey. So let us hear from him. Welcome, Group Captain Sanjeev Bedi. Sir, the platform is open, and now over to you.
Thank you, Jitendra. Thank you for inviting me to your channel. It's indeed a pleasure to interact with you and through you with the other viewers and listeners. It is indeed my pleasure to share my thoughts and ideas with you. I'm at your service.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to your guidance in the aviation industry. So looking forward to it. And how did your past life has affected the person you actually wanted to be in your life and what you be? So it's moreover related to our childhood memories. Like we always have certain thoughts what we want to choose our career as. So from there,
I agree with you. In fact, the past life creates it actually creates a lens through which we look at life. And in my personal case, I was born into a family which was far removed from defense. There was nobody from my paternal or maternal side anywhere near the defense. So in my case, the home atmosphere was it did not even think of defense as a career choice. So where did this seed of defense or flying, and that to fighters, emanate from? One is from my childhood. I was very fascinated by this yearly event that we have on the Rajpath, now called Kartavya Path, which is the Republic Day Parade. And even as a child, I used to view that on the 26th of January with a lot of interest. And more importantly, I was just about some 11 plus years old, and I lived in Delhi all along. In Delhi, I was born and brought up in Delhi, and seeing the fighter aircraft in the skies of Delhi during the 71 war, because that time they were operating from Palam and other bases in and around Delhi, and I happened to see them, and they just caught my attention and ignited the interest so much that it became an obsession with me, that I decided that yes, one day I will fly this fighter aircraft. So that became an obsession with me, which actually guided me all along in my growing years, and do actions in such a way which would prepare me and help me to achieve my dream. This was actually childhood dream. So the first, maybe I was just at that time also thinking straight. So the first thought that came to my mind that you have to be physically fit. So the physical fitness, that regime, and all that things became a essential part of my life. For example, going for daily jogs and regular exercises and things like that to remain to achieve a certain level of physical fitness and remain fit. And that was I think the fundamental which I realized has to be there. So I started doing that. In my school itself, I joined NCC when I was in school, and even in school, I took part in the Republic Day parade when I was in class maybe 8th or 9th. And then after finishing school, I joined college. There again, I opted to join the NCC, the air wing of the NCC, which gave me a chance to expose myself to flying. Although it was gliders at that time and Pushpak small aircraft in the Delhi Flying Club, which was located at Safdarjung Airport. Both these organizations were located at Safdarjung Airport. So they gave me a chance to experience those things. So the strength of the dream and to work towards achieving that dream became stronger and stronger and stronger. And the sensation of having wings was surreal. And finally, in the middle of 1980, when I was just about finishing my college, came the time when the call came to join, after having appeared for the exams, of course, and cleared them. The call came to join the Indian Air Force for training, and that was the starting point for the dream that was to come true. But the beginning was made, and by July 1980, I had headed for the Academy Air Force to join the Air Force. The way I see it is, coming from the background, the family environment, the home environment. But what I see is that the past life sanskars, impressions on our mind, they are made by the actions which we take either in this life or maybe past karmas. I'm a firm believer of karma, as the saying goes, karma never loses an address. So it always comes back. So I'm a firm believer of that, and probably that's how things happened in my case, and that's where I am today, having achieved my childhood dream.
So amazing, sir. We all have certain aspirations, what we want to choose our career as, but we all don't get the chance to get it. So I also wanted to be a fighter pilot myself when I was young, being a cantonment child. So we were seeing all these activities in around. So I always have a keen interest, but maths and science was not cup of my tea. So that was the thing. So moving on to the another one, what are the things you are passionate about in your life, and what is the role of motivation and inspiration on it?
Okay. Actually, Jitendra, I am passionate about multiple things. I am actually passionate about things which help me relax and also maintain a healthy work-life balance. But here also, I like to do them in a structured manner, and the essential element of the discipline being thrown into that, so that to remain to achieve and ensure continuity. For example, we have since a few years now, we have decided it's a weekly karaoke session. I'm very fond of music and singing and things like that. So we have a weekly karaoke session which happens across the continents, from people from India, from Canada, from Middle East, and from US, and they're all my friends from school. So we just started this group a couple of years ago. We do that, and religiously we do it on a Sunday evening, because I have to cater for the timings of people in US. So we do it on Sunday evening. So 7 to 9 is frozen. Every Sunday, 7 to 9 is frozen. No other activity can take place. So we do it, and it's been more than 3 years now that we have been doing it. And we do that. And when I say unless we do it religiously, unless there is some really pressing commitment, and by the way, travel is not a very pressing commitment that we can skip this. I do these activities even from other remote locations. If I'm traveling to some place and staying in a hotel or a guest house, all you need is the laptop with you and your headphones. So we do that. So we've taken part. We do that from that also. I'm very passionate about that, of course, without disturbing the other guests in the hotel. So we ensure that we do that.
Right.
And I also have a monthly. I'm a Reiki practitioner.
Okay.
Level 2. So we have a monthly get together with my Reiki group, and incidentally, I'm the only male member there. So that's a motivation enough for me to go there. But I take my wife along. We go together. It's a monthly get together we do, and twice a year we started a couple of years ago. That twice a year we have our reunions, which are off-site. Which is one is with my school group. You see, I finished my school in the year 1977. So there are people who are still in touch. They come from various locations, and we do it once a year to meet, and that happens in the month of November. It is happening 2 weeks from now in Trivandrum this time. And another reunion we have with my Air Force, course mates. That also we do once a year. So we religiously try to meet. So that idea is to, remain in touch. And I'm very fond of road trips. When I was a little younger, then for me that time it was on the most dependable Bullet. We call it Bullet Meri Jaan. So I used to do that. That Bullet motorcycle of mine carried me to Lahore Valley beyond Rohtang Pass. But now at this age and stage, I do it on four wheels whenever it is possible. And of course, not to forget a weekly round of golf, which I do. I play in Delhi whenever it is possible. I try to do it once a week. So I'm actually passionate about multiple things in life and try to do them. Basic idea being to have adequate amount of relaxation and work-life balance. And you mentioned about inspiration and motivation. Motivation and these two are very, very motivation and inspiration are very, very important things, and they are at times used interchangeably. Motivation is the driving force that pushes you to take action, while inspiration is the force which pulls you towards something new and exciting. So it has to be, idea is to remain motivated. You can get inspiration from any situation, and motivation also from any situation. Idea is to remain motivated and get inspiration from wherever you can, but both these are very, very important. In fact, at times what I feel that when I realize that, or somehow I feel that there is nothing much to do, I look for some inspiration and some motivation to do something. So these two, of course, inspiration and motivation are very, very important factors. I do that.
So amazing, sir. Since you've been doing all these activities, really wonderful. And I must say, like, you have seen entire India flying above. Now you are exploring same India through traveling by road. So that's amazing.
Yes.
Great.
Incidentally, Jitendra, in defense, you get posted from your location every 2 years or 3 years, sometime even shorter duration. Even while I was in the Air Force, the whole family, whenever we used to get posted from one place to another, of course, in the initial years, I had only one motorcycle, Bullet. But when I was fortunate enough to own a car while I was in the Air Force, our postings from one place to another, the household stuff used to go by the truck. But we as a family, including one dog, all used to go in the car and drive from one place to another. It was, automatic, fun driving, and also it was an education and exposure for the children who were very young, traveling by road from one place to another, seeing various things en route. So we have been doing that also.
Right, amazing. So now if I ask you about like your vision, mission and goal in life, so what that would be for next 5 to 10 years?
As far as vision is concerned, Jitendra, I recognize that I've had a good life, and I thank God and the powers that be for that. And I've had the opportunity to learn and develop valuable and unique skills and specialized knowledge, which is in the aviation and being a pilot and doing things about that. I have been fortunate, and now I want to share that knowledge with the less fortunate people through volunteering missions. So, as an example, what I do is the place where I'm staying, it's a little away from Delhi. I stay in a place called Bhiwadi, which happens to be just at the entry to Rajasthan. And in that area, I have a couple of these institutes who train young people to join defense forces or security forces or police, paramilitary forces. They conduct these coaching classes. It's a professional thing that they do. Yeah. So when I'm there at home on the weekend, so what I do is on a Saturday and Sunday, I go in the morning and I spend 2 hours purely on voluntary basis teaching those children and helping them to achieve their dream for which they have joined that academy. That's what I do as a routine. And my mission, of course, in life is to positively impact the life of every person that I encounter in my journey of life, whatever long short it may be. That's my mission. And of course, as the goal, I always keep in mind to always focus on solution and not the problem. The problems we can talk about anytime. Idea is to try and find a solution even in the smallest or the biggest of the problems. And incidentally, it is possible.
Correct. That's really possible.
So
when you explore solutions, you find ways.
Yeah, absolutely. These are my views on for my life's vision, mission, and goal in life, and this is what I try to stick to and follow as much as possible.
Amazing, sir. So now, if I ask you about your work and experiences, so since you've been a fighter pilot, so I want to like ask you specifically like which kind of aircraft you have flight and what was the experience like?
So, as far as the life, the education, I did all my education in Delhi itself. The school and college was done in Delhi, and then, like I mentioned, I joined Air Force in the year 1980 and went on for the training. So we have after the training period of whatever the training period the Air Force sets out, which is ground training, flying training at various locations. Finally, I joined Air Force, which is called commissioned into the Air Force. That means you join as an officer, as a pilot after finishing the training. That happened in December 1981. So I did that and joined Air Force, and after that I was selected to fly fighters, which I continued till I retired from the Air Force, or not really retired. I took voluntary retirement from the Air Force, and then I was initially on the MiG-21, the famous MiG-21, and it's every fighter pilot's charm is the MiG-21, very old but fantastic machine. I flew that for about initial 9 years of my life at various locations, various bases, and after that I was selected to undergo the flying instructors course. What happens is that after a few years of flying, when you have become operational or on the type of the aircraft that you're flying, then it's a part of the growth. So I was sent for the training to be a flying instructor. We call it qualified flying instructor. I did that training. It's a 6 months course. It happens in Chennai at an Air Force base near Chennai. I did that, and after that I was in the training academy, training young rookie cadets who come to join. Like I joined in 1981, so people like that who come and join. So I was training those cadets for about a year and a half, and that's when I also joined the now called Surya Kiran. It's a formation aerobatic team. I joined that in a place. It was based in the Air Force Station in Karnataka, Bidar. That's where it was based, and we started that. As you have seen in various videos and things like that, it's a formation of 9 aircraft or 6 aircraft or 4 aircraft, which fly very close to each other and do various maneuvers in the air for the spectators to see and get enthralled, and also get motivated to join the Air Force. So I did that. I was very fortunate, and I really enjoyed that part of that. And after that, I changed over to fly MiG-27s, which I flew till I left the Air Force. And I commanded a MiG-27 squadron in the desert sector. I was also the chief operations officer of a MiG-27 base, which I was in the eastern sector. So then I continued on the MiG-27 for a long time. And in between, you have various courses which are part of your journey and the growth journey in the Air Force, like Staff College and the Higher Command course, etc., for inter-services. That we did that. And while I was doing the training or experiencing as the flying instructor, training the young cadets, that is when I decided to upgrade. So you have various categories of flying instructor. You start with C, then you become B, and then you become A. So I was fortunate to clear the exam and became a category A flying instructor. So which is called A1, A2. So I'm a category A2 flying instructor, and we did that. And I can say that the journey in the Air Force was extremely exciting and thoroughly satisfying for me, and I really enjoyed. It was essentially a childhood dream which came. I actually used to tell my wife, I am being paid for my hobby. My hobby was flying. My childhood dream was flying, and I'm doing that, and I'm also being paid for that. So that I thank the powers to be for that.
So amazing.
So that was in the Air Force. So what happened subsequently in the year 2009? I actually had a offer from a corporate sector, and I evaluated it, and considering various factors and things like that, that is when I applied for a voluntary retirement from the Air Force. We in the civil stream we call it VRS, voluntary retirement scheme, and in the defense we call it PSS, premature separation from the service. So that's when I left Air Force voluntarily after having spent approximately 28 years of a very satisfying tenure. And then I joined the corporate sector. I joined one company, and it was to set up their defense business and also manage their aviation company, like you have mentioned in the initial introduction, where we had helicopters and other business jets on our inventory. I did that for 3 years. After that, I was country head for a Bulgarian company in India. I set up their defense business, and we did decent, good work with them. And post that, I again stayed with them for 3 years. Post that, again, I joined an Indian company for 6 years. And like you mentioned in the initial introduction, the general aviation terminal and the MRO at Delhi airport, which we did, and I was with them for about 6 years. And now presently I am working as director and country head for a French company, and based in Delhi. So this to say, it's my fourth rotation in the corporate sector, fourth job. But this has also been very, very satisfying and enriching. Most importantly, enriching, because I have been fortunate to join all these whichever corporate job I have joined. My role has been that I'm actually starting from ground zero. So you start from ground zero, build up brick by brick, and then you see it taking shape. That is why I find it very satisfying and enriching. And that's been the journey in all these companies. Even in the present one, I actually started from ground zero, and we are building it up. And maybe a year from now, we will be in a totally different shape in the present. That's been the long and short of the journey.
So amazing. So now, if I ask you, sir, most important life lessons you learned from your personal and professional journey, so what are those 2-3 things you would like to highlight?
Oh, okay. So, Jitendra, the lessons we learn from our life, they actually come out from the experiences that we go through in our life, whether they are personal or professional. So, I'll talk about it a little more a little later. But the lessons which I want to, point out, or as a bullet points, is that when I say everyone has a power to change the narrative. I have experienced that. Yeah, you can change the narrative as long as you decide to do that, and you can work toward that. My most favorite saying is that sunsets are beautiful endings, and they hold a promise of a sunrise. So this I always remember at the back of my mind. And also, having gone through all these experiences, you realize that your energy is actually your currency, and you must spend it wisely, and also invest wisely on that. And of course, as you see all around in our environment, faces are never ugly or beautiful. The minds are. These are, things to keep in mind. And in a world where everyone wears a mask, it's a privilege to see a soul which is clear and without any mask. And finally, the most important lesson of my life is that one day or day one, it's you who have to choose. Okay, this can be done one day, or this is the day to do the thing. This is entirely your choice. And to me, all these lessons have come to me after few experiences in life, and also life-changing events of my life, which is quite personal, but I would like to share, because this can happen with anybody. I would like to share it on your platform. And this was a life-changing event of my life, and I could have taken one route, but I took another route. I chose the route that I had to take. So in brief, I bought a new car. I'm talking of the year 2008. At that time, I was still in the Air Force, and I lost my mother many years ago. But my father was still alive that time, and he was dependent on me, and he was an Alzheimer's patient. So he was dependent on me, but staying at our ancestral house in Delhi, and all his medical care was being taken care of by me, because he was my dependent in the military hospital, or RR. That's where it used to be. So one day, wherever I was staying, I thought, let me just go and show him my new car that I had bought that time. And I reached there, and moment I got down and went to the gates of that house, the shock was awaiting. The gate was locked, and it can never happen, because that house can never be empty. And long story short, I realized in 5 minutes that I had lost my ancestral property by cheating. So now I was at a crossroad as to do what, and what action to take. So I discussed that with my wife. That's the closest person in your life is your spouse and life partner. I discussed with that, and it took us just 10 minutes, Jitendra. we had two options. One is to follow the legal route, and one is to just let go. And the only thing I told my wife is that whoever has done is fine. It's okay. I have lost whatever. It's okay. But ultimately, if we go the legal route, I will have to drag my own father, who did not even know that this thing has happened, because he was an Alzheimer's patient. He wouldn't have even realized who has done what. So I said, I don't want to drag him to the court to get my right and my children's right. So I think I'll just give it up. And that is where the importance of your life partner, comes right in forefront. The first thing she told me, that if that be so, she also comes from an army background, incidentally. She said, if that is your thought process and you don't want to follow this route, just come home straight and forget that this thing was ever in your life and it has happened. So that's what I meant by, one day or the day. That day we decided that it is to be, done away with, and it is to be forgotten as a bad golf shot and not carry on. If I had carried on the legal route, we would have been running into the courts. My father, who was not in good health, would have been coming there. I would have not been able to see that. So whatever I lost is a separate issue. But then I always believe that when one door closes in your life, God opens many other doors. And when I took this route, I actually saw multiple doors opened in my life, and rest is all history. So this was the major life-changing event which actually taught me all these lessons which I talked about. I changed the narrative by deciding to follow a particular route. I just decided to change the narrative. I decided to get peace of mind for the whole family. I decided to get everything in place and smooth for the next generation to come up, rather than like they say court kachari ke chakkar lagana. That doesn't help anyone. So I said, okay, maybe in my previous life it was a curse which I had to give back, so I gave it, and we moved on. That's most important.
You rightly pointed out, sir, these days, like these type of situation is happening all around. People,
it can happen with anyone,
are fighting for a small piece of land, so which is I also find that worthless, because what happen is like people who are doing this activity, cheating or maybe fooling others, so they are creating their own karma, and more importantly, like what they are gaining is a small thing, but what they could have done is a bigger perspective, bigger thing, which they did not choose to. So that is one thing, and moving on, your right decision that point in time, because fighting with family members, fighting with relatives was a difficult task that also not only creates a barrier but other things, other problems also, and
it vitiates the whole atmosphere. It destroys the whole atmosphere, and you're not left with much.
Correct. And also now, since you let it go, you got other opportunities, you are better off with them, and also whenever they see you, they will have a guilt feeling in their mind, so that won't go. So that is the one big thing.
Yeah.
Sir, now I'm moving back to the main core theme of the discussion today. So, how do international partnerships benefit the development of cutting-edge technologies and innovation in the aerospace, which is happening these days in industry, defense, and like aerospace in India?
Okay, so let me just mention a little about, as we all are aware of this Make in India initiative by the present government, which is going on. Which the theme of this Make in India is that you make it here and consume it here, but that is not stopping you from exporting from here. Idea being, the whole idea behind this theme is that we develop our home industry and get technology, because till maybe a decade ago, more than 70% of our equipment and technology was imported from various places. We're importing a lot even today, but idea being, so this Make in India is making a lot of difference. The theme or the emphasis on that is that the foreign OEMs who may be in Europe, US or Far East, wherever they may be located, they have a particular technology. In India, we have enough talent in terms of technology, manpower. We are a young generation, young country with very highly educated young population and English speaking and technically sound people. So this is one which is directing this country towards self-reliance. Now here we have these international partnerships coming in. We get an OEM who has got a particular technology, and that is what what I have been doing for last about 10, 12 years now. Even recently, I have been able to successfully bring two OEMs from Korea and have them partnership with the Indian companies which have got synergistic capability. Now they make in India. So the international partnerships will benefit in the sense that you will get a particular technology or capability which is not existing with you. We marry it with the capability and technology which we have here, and the end result, it's not 2 plus 2 will become 4, 2 plus 2 may become 8. So this is where this partnerships they help, because we understand that we don't have all the capability. There is technology. Even just yesterday I was with the US India Business Forum, and I realized that while talking to people that there are some technologies which they have and they're willing. So this international partnership is so important, especially for the aerospace and defense sector. Aerospace could be in the civil as well as in the military domain. It's so important because these two industries are the most high-tech industries and with very big ticket size allotted to them. So that is why it will make a difference, and we will be able to get cutting edge technologies into India, join it up with our capability, and then we make here to consume here and also to supply to the world from here. So this the international partnerships which are going on and the effort is continuing is beneficial for the country as such, and even for the population and the people who are going to make things in future. 5 years from now, you may find that there will be a totally different level of technologies and the capabilities which are existing in India. We are already seeing, the way things are happening. Just to give you an example, it's because of these international partnerships, collaborations, various companies. Earlier, we were all importing the defense equipment. India was importing. Now, there are so many items. If we just go through the reports, you will find that there are so many items and so many crores of rupees worth equipment that we are exporting now to other countries. All this has happened because of the international partnerships and collaborations. So it is very, very important, and it will bear fruits.
Correct. Since I'm part of a startup ecosystem, like I'm running a startup, so I keep on looking after the news which is coming up, like which all type of startups are coming in. So I'm seeing that there is a huge progress in this space, aviation and aerospace, and there are so many companies coming up with technology, as well as drones are also coming up. Like companies are developing new cutting edge type of products there. So that is really amazing, and like we are also hearing so many news that India is exporting that much of missiles and everything like in this space. That is really amazing, and we are also like building helicopters and fighter planes in India as well. So that is one thing which is happening around. So we have started exporting as well.
Absolutely. Just to add here, my own company, I'm working with a French company as their country head in India. We have taken a conscious decision of setting up and enhancing the technical capability in India, because we realize that in the years ahead, it is no good that we make there and export to India. It will not work out. So we are already working out and setting up establishments, having collaborations with Indian partners, setting up shops here, so that whatever is happening in France today, 2 years from now, all that will be happening in India, and it will be under the Make in India spirit.
So amazing, sir. So now moving on to the another one, like in what ways do international partnership impact research and development efforts, and how do they help address global security challenges more effectively?
Okay, you see, the research and development, R&D in short, what we call, is a very, very important for any development of technical business. Unfortunately, till some time ago in India, many organizations were not spending as much as it is required to do R&D. That is why probably we have not been able to develop the technologies and things like that. But when you have partnership having doing work in the research and development domain, you land up doing collaborative research and development effort. When this collaborative effort happens, it can lead to sharing of knowledge, expertise, and resources. When you share all these things, it automatically accelerates the development of new technologies. You see, you do the research there, you do the research here, collaborative. If you do it together with the foreign OEMs, it will accelerate. If something would come out in 1 year's time, You never know, it may come out in a few months' time. And that is the importance of collaborative research when you do that. And it can also happen when we do this with the international partnerships, do research and development, you are actually more effectively pooling your resources and expertise rather than just one entity getting everything. So you find the best from one place A, best from place B, get them together, and then you find that it's a effective, better method of doing pooling the resources and achieving the desired results. To give a general example, I can give is that the international partnerships, they can help to address issues like climate change, food security, infectious diseases. These are all global challenges that require a coordinated approach and a coordinated action plan, which with this collaborative research it happens. In addition, the international partnerships can also help to promote peace and stability by fostering collaboration and cooperation and understanding between the various nations. So generally, it is going to benefit in many domains and also able to handle various global security challenges in a more effective and sustained manner.
Right, sir. That's really important. And like from R&D to manufacturing and supply chain capabilities, like what role does cross-border cooperation play in this area, and how to improve or enhance our capabilities in aerospace and defense sector in terms of manufacturing and supply chain?
Right. So the aerospace and defense sector, like I had mentioned earlier, also one that it is the most high tech sectors, and it is, even if we just take an example of making one aircraft, an airliner which an Airbus is making or Boeing is making, or wherever place they are making, it is the final assembly that happens at that place, and it requires thousands of vendors or thousands of supply chain entities to provide various things. Try and imagine an aircraft. That's why I'm giving the example of the aircraft, because it is the most complex. It has the airframe, it has the engine, it has thousands of hundreds of miles of cables and harnesses. It has got electronics, it has got avionics, it has got hydraulic systems, it has got pneumatic system. You have tires, you have there are hundreds of systems and computers in this example. And this example we can relate to many other examples, could be smaller in size. But the point that I am trying to make, Jitendra, is that no one place or a country is capable to have all the inputs which are going to make this final product at one place. For that, they are dependent on multiple vendors. Now, these multiple vendors could be located in country. Most of the time, they are located out of country. So that is where, and now all these things have to be fed into a time-sensitive line where the supply chain happens as per the time, and that aircraft which is going to be finishing the final assembly at that location is not kept waiting for a long time. So there are very sensitive issues and time-critical issues which are involved with these thousands of suppliers and subcontractors which are located in various parts of the world. So having this cooperation and having this coordination across the borders, I will not say it is important. It is essential. Without that, the success of the project will not happen, and that is what people are doing, and most of the manufacturers are doing that. And whenever you find that for any global issue, if there is a disturbance in this kind of a supply chain, the work actually comes to a very, very big grinding halt kind of a thing, because even if one geopolitical zone is disturbed and the supplies are not coming, you can imagine that the whole system will come to a halt, because it is coming only from there. Yes, what people do and what we normally do is that not to have just one source of a particular thing, you have multiple. So if I have to get something, let's say I have to get the cotton from Bangladesh to do something in India. So it is important to have not one source of supply of cotton, that is Bangladesh, maybe look for another source, so that in case some disturbance, it could be natural, it could be political, in case something dries up at that end, we can depend. That's what people do, have a strategy in place so that you have a contingency plan. If this doesn't work, then you have plan B, then plan C, and things like that. But the point here is that having these cross-border relationships and coordination, especially in the aerospace and defense domain, is most important, because you cannot have these thousands of components and items available at one place. It's very, very important, and people are paying great attention to that.
Correct, and very precision kind of activity that involves. So it's difficult to entirely ship the project to a different country and start manufacturing there. It takes long time and that too huge cost. So
Absolutely.
that is a concern as well. So now, sir, moving on to the another one, like how can government, private entities or enterprises and research institutions work together internationally to foster a conducive environment for the growth and development in this industry or space?
Okay. Oh, this is very important. The government, of course, is the dictating, organizations. It's very important. Their role is so important, and equally important is the private enterprises and the research institutions to all work together in harmony with each other, so that we achieve the desired end result and end state in the most cost effective and the efficient manner. What my view is that what the government can encourage, they can facilitate and encourage partnerships between let's say small and medium enterprises and for smaller organization, and which are which can medium sizes, so that they can align this partnership to for a common production and to overcome the innovation challenges. They can pool knowledge, like I had mentioned earlier, in cross border also, and within the country also. You can have pooling of knowledge and expertise between SMEs or other enterprises, so that you can have a better and more effective end result and the product coming out. The government can also use demonstration effect. The government can finance and can execute, let's say, a pilot project that they do that, or a prototype they create, and that is an indication and that the government is wanting this kind of a thing to happen, and then that attracts the private enterprise and the research organizations to work on that, because at the end of it amounts to money. There are companies which are smaller, the enterprises could be smaller, they may not be in a position to do that kind of a research work themselves. That is why the government support, hand holding and facilitation is most important. And incidentally, this very thing is happening in a great way in our country, especially in the defense corridors which are located in UP. They are doing a wonderful job, and also in Tamil Nadu. These two I'm very well aware of, and these are the defense corridors which have come up in last couple of years, and they're doing wonderful job of doing this, getting people together, facilitating, hand holding, helping them, supporting them, so that they can do if they are able to do 2 today, they should be able to do 5 in next year or so. That is the support of the government. The government organizations, since they are at the head of the umbrella, they can also incentivize the entrepreneurship and the investments. That okay, if you do this, we can help you with this. This is the incentive. It could be tax rebates. It could be if you are located in the defense corridor, it could be kind of a subsidized support in the infrastructure. And there are various ways in which the government can support these organizations, and they are doing, and it's happening in our country, which is the most encouraging part. And also finally, I think the government can also do this collaboration in science and technology. You see, our own government organizations, whether it is DRDO, whether it is HAL, they are all owned by the government, and they have a huge capability technical which is with them, whether it is testing or whether it is calibration. I'm just giving few examples only, and the private sector may not be able to have, or small industries may not be able to have. So the government has opened out these facilities for the private enterprises, smaller and medium enterprises. They have opened it to them that okay, you can do the testing here at this government organization. Idea being that once this testing is done, this product which is being developed is also going to be in the government sector. So the government, the role of the government in getting the private and the research institutions together is very, very important. And I find that the way it is happening in last, say, a decade or so, it's very, very encouraging, and it is definitely going to bear very good fruits in the times ahead.
Right. And since this industry is highly regulated, so the most important support which can come from is government. And we have seen that the support from government has drastically improved. And there are so many startups which are coming up, getting government funding, not only the funding, but also kind of recognition and support that they are working collaboratively with the government agencies like HAL and other institutions. And they are working on designing and probably also research and development activities. So that support from government have improved a lot, and amazingly,
Absolutely.
this is helping the industry as a whole. So,
Indeed.
sir, now coming back to you again, if I ask you, like, what is your take on success, your beliefs and thoughts about it?
Okay. Success actually, Jitendra, I like to define success in smaller achievements, and rather than having this one big success. And what I believe it, like just in my example, when I was in school, walking down the Kartavya Path for the Republic Day parade in that contingent was a success for me at that stage. Repeating it in college, once again repeating when I was in college was another success. And actually, when I did that in college, that's when I promised myself that when I joined Air Force, once again I'm going to do that. So in the year 1991, I again led the Air Force contingent on the Kartavya Path for the Republic Day. So that was another success for me. And when I was in flying, there was a mishap which happened with me. I had to eject from a MiG-21 because it caught fire and got out of control for various technical malfunctions. So I had to eject out of that, came down with a parachute. I broke one bone in my leg. So everybody thought, out of flying and things like that. But getting back to flying after 3 months of this, going down medically was another success for me. And similarly, even in the corporate sector, I like to enjoy this success, in bits and pieces, smaller ones, and it's achieving one milestone. You set your targets and goals on the maybe 6 monthly basis, yearly basis, and maybe 5 yearly basis. And once you achieve them and find that it is happening, that's success. Starting something from ground zero and then seeing that it is taking shape, so that also is success. So what I find, what I define success is actually succeeding in smaller battles to finally win the war. That's my idea of success.
Really nice. So, in last, any message or advice you would like to share with our viewers and listeners?
You have very informed viewers and listeners, but I would only share my own thoughts of the experience of my life, if it can help anybody. And this is what I can convey to them. One must lay the highest premium on loyalty in life. Loyalty is the most important thing in life, whether you are at work or at home or in a relationship, wherever. I pay the highest premium to loyalty, and I would advise that people, one should be focused in life and see what you want to do, work diligently towards that. There will be ups and downs and things like that. Find out the solutions for that, and most importantly, be alive. I read somewhere, don't allow that child in you to die. Keep that child in you alive, and then you will be alive in life. And today is the day. So remain focused and decide for everything that it's not one day I will do it. Today is the day to do it. Always be motivated. And I like to take care of the smaller goals. If you take care of the smaller goals, the larger ones will automatically be taken care of. And on the human angle, I recommend that connect with people and remain connected with people. It is always beneficial, and you never know when, which opportunity can click. It is always good to have connections with the people and try and learn something new. And my final message is never ever be late in life. Punctuality is what I have learned in the defense, and I can proudly say that I have never been late in my life. So that's one thing which I hold very dear to myself, and tell everyone that never ever be late in your life.
This is really important, and people who are from defense background, they can really understand this, because I always been on that path. Like I've always been taught that you should be punctual always. So that's really amazing, sir. And the insights you have shared about the aviation sector industry, how it is growing, and what all things are happening in this space is really amazing. And it was really amazing to hear your experiences, your insights about your work, your industry, your experiences about that are really amazing. And I really enjoyed the conversation, and looking forward to hear more from you again soon. Thank you so very much, sir, for your time, your energy, your words. Really, really thankful to you.
Thank you, Jitendra. Thank you for inviting me on your channel. It has been indeed my pleasure to interact with you and share my thoughts. It's been wonderful, and I wish you good health and happiness, and to all your viewers and listeners, good health and happiness always. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And I will also share your social media link along with the interview, so that people can be in touch with you, take your help and guidance wherever they
Most
need.
welcome.
And most important, like the new startups which are coming up, if I got a chance to connect with them, definitely I'll share your story with them so that they can get motivated and inspired, and probably they
Most
can
welcome.
connect with you, take your help and guidance also. So guys, don't forget to check that out too. Thank you so very much for everyone for watching and listening. I hope you all must have gathered a lot of information and enjoyed watching it. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Have a good time. Thank you and bye bye.